The Galactic Council chamber was filled with light from crystal lamps and the hum of alien voices. Leaders from 100 species sat in golden chairs, their long robes trailing across the polished floor. At the center, the High Speaker of the Council raised his hand, and silence spread through the chamber. His eyes, black and cold, looked toward the glowing map above him. The map showed Earth, small and blue among the stars. Around it, red marks blinked, symbols of battles, protests, and resistance. The speaker's voice echoed, "Humans are a problem. They refuse to obey. They fight when told to kneel. They are dangerous. Today we must decide what to do with them." A wave of laughter filled the room. Tall, insect-like creatures clicked their mandibles in amusement. Scaled warriors hissed their agreement. A silver-skinned noble leaned back in his chair and said, "Earth is weak. They are only one planet. Their ships are old, their armies small. Why do we waste time discussing them?" Another alien, shaped like a giant serpent, slammed its tail on the ground. "Because they are too proud. Every time we order them to obey, they resist. They fight back when others would submit. It must end," the council members nodded. The decision was close. Some wanted to enslave the humans, to chain them as workers in the mines. Others wanted to burn Earth, to make it an example to every other world. Only one voice stood against the wave. A smaller alien, with glowing eyes and thin hands, rose to speak. "Do not underestimate the humans," he warned. "They are dangerous in ways we do not understand. They adapt too fast. They fight too hard. If you provoke them, they will bring ruin." But the chamber only roared with more laughter. The High Speaker raised his hand again. "We are the Galactic Order. We rule 1,000 worlds. If humans resist, we will crush them. If they fight, we will make them suffer. It is decided." The council voted. The majority agreed. Earth was to be punished. What they did not know was that a spy sat among them. A human agent dressed in alien robes, hidden behind a mask, had recorded everything. Every insult, every laugh, every word of arrogance. The humans would hear it all. That night, in a hidden chamber on Earth, leaders of humanity sat around a dark table. The spy's recording played, projecting the faces of the aliens who mocked them. Every sneer, every cruel word, every insult against their people. The room was silent as the video ended. Generals and admirals stared at the screen, their jaws tight. No one spoke. The silence was heavy, like the calm before a storm. Finally, an old general leaned forward. His voice was calm but filled with steel. "They believe we are weak. They believe we will bow." Another leader slammed his fist on the table. "They think we are alone. They think we are afraid." The commander at the head of the table stood up. His eyes burned with cold fire. "Then let them learn what fear truly means." For years, Earth had been silent. They had hidden their strength, rebuilding their fleets in the shadows, training soldiers in secret bases, and developing weapons never seen before in the galaxy. While the aliens laughed, Earth prepared. While the Council called them weak, humanity sharpened its claws. Now the moment had come. The message was short, but it carried the weight of a storm. It was sent across the stars, directly to the Council's chamber. The High Speaker of the Council was preparing another speech when the transmission cut through his network. The entire hall froze as a human face appeared on the giant screen. It was the Commander of Earth, dressed in black uniform, standing tall, his voice cold and steady. "You call us weak," the human said. "You insult us. You laugh at us. But you have made a mistake." The chamber filled with uneasy whispers. The human's eyes did not blink. His words struck like steel. "Your arrogance has been noted, and our answer will come." The screen went dark. For a long moment the Galactic Council was silent. No one laughed. No one sneered. Fear settled into the chamber like a shadow. The smaller alien who had warned them earlier whispered again, but this time his voice shook. "I told you. The humans do not forgive, and they never forget." Outside, in the cold of space, fleets of human warships began to move. Hidden for years, cloaked in the void, they now rose like predators awakened from their sleep. Engines roared, cannons armed. Humanity was no longer silent. The Council believed Earth would kneel. Instead, they had awakened a storm, and the galaxy would soon learn what it meant to stand against the fury of humankind. The stars above the Council's supply hub were calm, glittering like diamonds in the endless black. Alien freighters drifted in long lines, their engines humming, carrying food, weapons, and resources to the far edges of the galaxy. Guard ships hovered close, their crews relaxed. To them, it was just another routine day, but hidden in the void, cloaked in silence, humanity's warships waited. The largest was the Iron Resolve, a vessel built in secret, its hull black as night, its weapons glowing faintly like the eyes of a predator. Around it, smaller destroyers and frigates held their positions, silent hunters ready to strike. For years, they had hidden from alien eyes. Now they would show themselves. Inside the Iron Resolve, Admiral Cade stood before his officers. His uniform was dark, his face carved from stone, his voice calm but sharp. "The Council believes we are weak," he said. "Today we show them how wrong they are." The officers saluted. Engines flared to life. One by one, the human ships uncloaked, revealing themselves like shadows, tearing free from the dark. The alien guards on the supply hub blinked in shock. Unidentified ships detected. Who are they? Then the humans sent their signal, a simple transmission, 3 words only. "Earth remembers everything." The aliens laughed at first. Primitive humans? With these tiny ships? They dare attack us? But their laughter died quickly. The Iron Resolve fired first. A spear of kinetic energy shot across space, faster than light, smashing through an alien cruiser's shield. The shield shattered like glass, and the cruiser exploded in a wave of fire and debris. The other human ships followed. Railguns thundered, missiles streaked across the void, and entire alien fleets crumbled before the storm. Their weapons were useless. Shields meant to resist plasma and lasers could not withstand Earth's kinetic strikes. "Shields are breaking," an alien captain screamed. "Their weapons, how can this be?" But it was already too late. One by one, the alien guard ships turned into burning wrecks. Freighters tried to escape, but human frigates cut them down with precision fire. Within minutes, the entire supply hub was a field of wreckage. From the bridge of the Iron Resolve, Admiral Cade watched calmly. His voice was steady as he gave orders. "No survivors, no mercy. Let them remember this day. The humans did not fight like the aliens. They fought with a cold, focused fury. Every shot was precise, every strike devastating. They wasted nothing, and they showed no hesitation. On the alien homeworlds, the news spread like wildfire. The council chambers buzzed with fear. "How is this possible?" shouted one delegate. "Those were our strongest shields. No weapon should break them." Another slammed the table with trembling claws. "They should not have such power. They were weak. How did they build such weapons?" No answer came. Only fear. Then a second transmission appeared, broadcast across the stars. This time the entire galaxy heard it. The image of Admiral Cade filled every screen, his eyes hard, his voice like steel. "This was only the beginning," he said. "For every insult, for every cruelty, for every life you stole from Earth, we will strike back. You thought us weak. You thought us broken. But you were wrong." The council chamber fell silent. No one dared laugh now. The high speaker's hands shook as he turned off the screen. "Humans," he whispered. "They mean war." Back at the supply hub, the wreckage drifted silently, glowing in the cold light of distant suns. Among the ruins, one alien ship had survived long enough to send a desperate message. The captain's voice was filled with terror. "They came from nowhere. Their weapons cut through us like nothing. They do not stop. They fight like demons." Then static. The recording spread through the galaxy. Aliens who had once mocked Earth now whispered in fear. Traders, mercenaries, and even warlords began to question. Had the Council awakened something they could not control? Meanwhile, Earth prepared for the next strike. On hidden worlds, more ships rose from secret hangars. Soldiers trained with grim faces, their hearts burning with fury. Factories poured out weapons, engines, and armor. The humans had waited for this moment. Now they moved with precision, with unity, with vengeance. For the first time in history, the galaxy realized Earth was not just another world. Humanity was not just another species to be controlled. They were something else, something far more dangerous. Admiral Cade stood at the front of his fleet, looking out at the stars. His voice carried through every ship. "We will not stop," he declared. "We will not bow. We will not forgive." The galaxy wanted to see Earth's strength. "Now they will," the soldiers cheered. Engines roared. The fleet moved forward deeper into enemy space. The first strike was over. But humanity's war had just begun, and the galaxy trembled, knowing the storm was only growing stronger. The council chamber was no longer filled with laughter. The same golden hall that once echoed with mocking voices now trembled with silence. The great leaders of the Galactic Order sat stiff in their seats, their eyes locked on the glowing screen at the center of the chamber. On that screen, reports flashed one after another. Supply hubs destroyed, warships shattered, colonies under attack. Every word was written in red, and every red mark was another wound to their pride. The High Speaker leaned forward, his face pale. This cannot be true. Not from Earth, not from humans. But the truth was undeniable. The first strike had changed everything. Entire fleets were gone. Alien captains had begged for help before being cut off in screams and static. Humanity had risen from silence with claws sharper than anyone had imagined. A serpent-like delegate hissed in anger. "We underestimated them. We called them weak. Now they humiliate us before the galaxy." Another, a scaled warrior with glowing eyes, slammed his fist onto the table. "Then let us crush them now. Send our grand fleets. Burn their planet until nothing remains." The hall stirred with uneasy whispers. Some nodded. Others shook their heads in fear. A thin, nervous alien rose from his seat. His skin was pale, his hands shaking. "You do not understand. These are not the humans you remember. They hid their strength for years. They prepared for this. If we fight them as we always have, we will lose again." The words stung. The warrior spat. "Lose? Against one world?" But the nervous alien's voice grew louder, stronger. "Yes, against Earth. You saw the reports. Their weapons pierce our shields. Their fleets appear from the void with no warning. They're soldiers. They fight without fear." At that moment, a recording was played for all to hear. It was the last transmission from the destroyed supply hub. The alien captain's desperate voice filled the chamber. "They fight like demons. They do not stop. Gods help us." The recording ended with static. The chamber fell into silence. No one laughed. No one dared. Fear crept into every corner of the hall. For the first time in centuries, the Galactic Order did not feel like rulers. They felt hunted. The High Speaker rose slowly, his robes dragging across the floor. "We must consider peace." The words caused an uproar. Some shouted in anger, others in panic. "Peace? With humans? Impossible. They are savages. They will never accept peace." The speaker raised his hand and silence returned. His eyes were tired, heavy with the weight of centuries of command. "We are not dealing with savages. We are dealing with survivors. And survivors are the most dangerous enemy of all." At that same time, in the shadows of the chamber, a spy stood hidden. He was human, cloaked in alien disguise, watching their fear grow. Every word was recorded. Every moment of panic would be sent back to Earth. Meanwhile, in human space, the news of victory spread. Soldiers cheered. Families wept with pride. For the first time, they felt power, true power, over those who had mocked and enslaved them. But Admiral Cade was not celebrating. He stood on the bridge of the Iron Resolve, staring at the stars. His officers spoke quietly, waiting for orders. "The council is shaken," one said. "They are afraid," another added. Cade nodded, his voice steady. "Fear is only the beginning." Fear makes them dangerous. Fear makes them desperate. And desperation leads to mistakes. He turned to his fleet. "We cannot stop now. If we pause, they will recover. If we hesitate, they will strike back. We must keep moving forward. Until the council understands that Earth does not kneel." The officers saluted. Engines roared again. The human fleet prepared for its next move. Back in the council chamber, debates raged on. Some demanded endless war. Others begged for surrender. The order that once ruled with iron pride now looked broken. But then an envoy burst into the chamber. His body was wounded, his armor scorched. All eyes turned to him as he staggered forward. "The humans," he whispered. "They have a name for their army. They call themselves the Silent Legions. And they are coming." The words froze every delegate in place. Silent Legions. It sounded less like soldiers, more like a force of nature. The envoy collapsed. The chamber shook with fear. The High Speaker closed his eyes, whispering the truth none of them wanted to admit. "We thought them weak. We thought them broken. But humanity is not broken." He opened his eyes, dark and heavy. "Humanity is rising, and the galaxy will pay the price." Far away, hidden fleets of human warships gathered in the void, cloaked and waiting. Soldiers sharpened blades and loaded weapons, their hearts filled with rage and fire. The galaxy trembled. The Council had made a mistake, and humanity was just beginning to show how ruthless its vengeance could be. The galaxy was no longer laughing. From the richest nobles to the poorest slaves, everyone whispered about the same thing: the humans. Stories spread faster than light. Whole fleets destroyed, council leaders trembling, warlords defeated by a force no one had expected. But what most of the galaxy did not know was this: Earth's true power had not yet been revealed. On a hidden world far from council eyes, deep beneath black mountains, massive doors of steel opened. From the shadows inside, machines thundered to life. Soldiers marched in perfect formation. Engines roared as towering war machines awakened from their silence. This was not Earth's fleet the Council had seen before. This was something else, something far greater. They called it the Silent Legions. For years, Earth had worked in the dark. While the Council mocked them, while aliens treated them like an afterthought, humanity prepared in secret. Entire industries were hidden underground, away from satellites and spies. New weapons were built. Kinetic cannons stronger than any shield, railguns that could tear through the largest battleships, stealth systems that made fleets invisible in the void. The Council thought Earth had only scraps of technology. But the truth was clear now. Humans had been holding back. Admiral Cade stood in the command hall of one of these secret bases. The massive hangar stretched for miles, filled with ships gleaming under bright white lights. Soldiers in black armor stood ready, their faces calm, their eyes sharp. Cade raised his voice. "The Council believes they have seen our strength. They are wrong. They have seen nothing. The time has come to release the Silent Legions." The soldiers pounded their fists to their chests. The ground shook from the sound. Back in the Galactic Council chamber, alien delegates argued in chaos. "They destroy everything they touch," one shouted. "They fight like devils," cried another. "We must strike first," roared a warlord, but their words were filled with fear. Every report brought more despair. Colonies liberated, slaves freed, warlords defeated. Humanity was advancing step by step, and nothing could stop them. Finally, the High Speaker slammed his hand against the table. "Enough! We will crush them with overwhelming force. Send the Grand Armada. 500 ships. Every weapon we have," the chamber roared in agreement. 500 ships was more than enough to erase any enemy. Against a single planet, it was certain victory. The order was sent. The Grand Armada prepared. Days later, the Armada arrived near Earth. Alien captains laughed in confidence as their massive ships spread across the system. The blue planet below looked so small compared to their endless fleet. "This is the end of humans," one alien captain said, but then the stars shifted. From the darkness around Earth, shapes began to appear. One ship, then 10, then 100, then thousands. Black warships shimmered into view, their cloaks peeling away like shadows lifting from stone. They rose from every direction, massive and silent, their guns already armed. The alien captains froze. How is this possible?" 500 alien ships faced 5,000 human warships. The Silent Legions had arrived. Inside the flagship of the Armada, a warlord screamed, "Attack them! Overwhelm them!" The fleets clashed. Alien ships unleashed plasma and lasers, but their beams scattered against human countermeasures. Human kinetic strikes tore through enemy shields like paper. Missiles split into swarms, overwhelming defenses. Alien cruisers broke apart in fire and smoke. Admiral Cade stood on the bridge of the Iron Resolve, calm as ever. Do not give them time to recover. Strike fast. Strike hard. Show them Earth's true vengeance. The legions obeyed. Within minutes, entire squadrons of the Armada were destroyed. The galaxy's strongest war machines burned in the void, powerless against Earth's hidden army. Alien voices screamed through comms. Our shields are useless. They are everywhere. We cannot win. The battle became slaughter. On the ground below, humans watched the sky blaze with light as wreckage rained down like falling stars. Children pointed in awe. Families whispered in pride. At last, they saw their defenders rise in glory. When the smoke cleared, the Grand Armada was no more. Out of 500 alien ships, only a few broken survivors fled, engines burning, carrying terror back to the Council. In the Council chamber, silence fell as the news arrived. Not even the bravest dared to speak. Finally, the High Speaker whispered, 500 ships destroyed by humans. The nervous alien delegate from before rose again. His voice was quiet but sharp, cutting through the silence. You mocked them. You insulted them. You thought them weak. But now the truth is clear. Humanity is not weak. Humanity is the storm. And the storm has only just begun. The chamber shook with fear. Back on Earth, Admiral Cade looked at the stars. His eyes were cold. His words were colder. Let the galaxy tremble, he said, for this is only the beginning. And the silent legions prepared for their next march, ready to bring Earth's vengeance deeper into the heart of the Galactic Order. The galaxy had never seen destruction like this. The Council's Grand Armada, 500 of the most powerful warships, was gone, burned, broken, or scattered into the void. What was meant to be a crushing victory had turned into humiliation. Across the stars, fear spread like fire. Slaves whispered in secret, hoping the humans might free them next. Merchants hid their fleets, unwilling to risk human wrath. Even hardened warlords lowered their voices when the word Earth was spoken. But the Galactic Council refused to bow. Pride was all they had left. In the vast chamber of the Council, the High Speaker stood before the delegates. His voice trembled with fury. We are the rulers of 1,000 worlds. We will not be shamed by one planet. Humanity must be destroyed. The chamber roared in anger. But beneath that roar, there was fear. Everyone had seen the reports. Humans fought with a kind of madness, a refusal to surrender that no alien could understand. They turned every battle into a storm. Still, the Council believed it had one last hope, the warlord Carix. Carix was no ordinary commander. His fleet was the largest the Council had ever built, 10 times stronger than the Armada that had already been destroyed. His reputation was fear itself. He had crushed rebellions, burned entire civilizations, and silenced uprisings with fire and steel. When Carrick spoke, even other warlords fell silent. His voice was cold, his eyes sharper than blades. "Send me against the humans," he said. "I will break them. I will burn Earth until nothing remains." The Council agreed. Garrix was unleashed. Far from the Council's world, Admiral Cade stood aboard the Iron Resolve. His fleet drifted near a dead star, cloaked in the shadows of black space. His officers brought him the latest news. The Council has chosen Carrix. He leads a fleet larger than any we've seen. Cade listened quietly, his face unreadable. Then at last he spoke. "Good! Let him come." The humans had not survived this long by facing enemies directly. They had survived by thinking differently. While aliens relied on power, humans relied on strategy. Where the Council saw war as brute force, Earth saw it as a game of survival. And in survival, humans were unmatched. Cade ordered the fleet to prepare the trap. When Carrix arrived, the stars seemed to vanish behind his armada. Thousands of ships stretched across space, weapons glowing, engines roaring. His voice carried across the void in a broadcast sent directly to the humans. Your defiance ends today. I will erase your world. I will erase your name. Humanity will be nothing but dust. On Earth, billions listened. Families huddled in fear. Children stared at the skies. But Admiral Cade was calm. His reply was simple. Try, Carix roared with fury. His fleet advanced, but space itself seemed to change. The humans had prepared the battlefield. Asteroids that had drifted harmlessly for centuries suddenly lit up, revealing hidden cannons. Gravity mines, invisible until now, pulled alien ships into deadly traps. Entire formations broke apart as ships collided or were dragged into black holes of artificial gravity. Human fleets emerged from the shadows, striking with deadly precision. Railguns tore through the alien armada. Missiles split into swarms, overwhelming defenses. Carix's ships burned by the hundreds. Still, Carix pressed forward. He was not a coward. His voice thundered through the chaos. Fight, push them back. They cannot stop us all. But Admiral Cade's voice was steady as steel. Bring him deeper. The trap closed. Behind Carix's fleet, more human ships uncloaked, cutting off retreat. His armada was surrounded. Every alien ship was trapped inside a cage of fire. The battle turned into slaughter. Alien voices screamed across comms. Our shields are failing. They are everywhere. We cannot escape. Carix fought with fury, his massive flagship unleashing storms of plasma, destroying dozens of human ships. But the silent legions did not stop. For every ship lost, 10 more pressed forward. Admiral Cade ordered his final strike. A massive railgun platform, hidden in the shadow of the dead star, powered up. Its core glowed with white fire. With a single blast, it unleashed a spear of kinetic energy the size of a mountain. The shot struck Carix's flagship. Shields shattered. Armor crumbled. The ship split apart in a storm of light and flame. The warlord's last message echoed through the galaxy. His voice was filled with rage and terror. Do not fight Earth, they are monsters. Then silence. When the news reached the council, the chamber fell into chaos. Delegates shouted, some in anger, some in fear, others in despair. The High Speaker tried to speak, but his voice was drowned by the panic. The galaxy was broken. Their strongest warlord was gone. Their fleets shattered. Their pride turned into ashes. Meanwhile, on Earth, people cheered. Families cried with relief. Soldiers saluted their leaders. Humanity had stood against the greatest warlord in the galaxy and won. But Admiral Cade did not smile. His eyes were cold as he looked at the burning wreckage drifting through space. This is not the end, he said quietly. This is the beginning. The galaxy thought Earth would bow. Instead, they will kneel. The silent legions moved forward again, their ships like shadows across the stars. The galaxy trembled, shattered by humanity's vengeance, and still Earth was not finished. The Galactic Council chamber had once been the heart of power in the galaxy. Its walls of crystal and gold were meant to show strength. But now those same walls shook with fear. Delegates sat frozen in their seats, their voices hushed, their eyes wide. They had heard the final message of warlord Carix before his fleet was destroyed. Do not fight Earth. They are monsters, the words echoed in every mind. The galaxy's strongest warlord had fallen, and humanity had been the one to end him. The High Speaker's hands trembled as he tried to bring order to the chaos. We must call for peace. We must stop this before humanity burns everything. But another delegate shouted in panic, Peace! They will never accept peace. They will want revenge for every insult, every cruelty, every life we took from them. The chamber erupted into fear and confusion. For the first time in history, the Galactic Order looked powerless. Far away, the iron resolve drifted above the ruins of Carix's armada. Admiral Cade stood on the bridge, watching as wreckage floated past the stars. His officers waited for orders. One spoke softly. The galaxy is broken, Admiral. The Council is in chaos. Should we stop? Should we negotiate? Cade's gaze remained fixed on the stars. His voice was calm but hard as stone. No, we are not finished. The Council wanted to crush us. Now they will feel what it means to be crushed. He turned to his fleet. Set course for the Council's capital world. Today we end this. Engines roared to life. The silent legions moved like a storm across the galaxy. Everywhere they went, alien fleets fled. Worlds that had once bowed to the Council now raised their banners in rebellion, inspired by Earth's defiance. Species who had been slaves for centuries whispered the same words: "The humans are coming. The humans will free us." On the Council's capital, panic filled the skies. Thousands of alien ships scrambled to defend the planet, their weapons glowing bright, their formations tight. The great towers of the Council stood tall, shining like spears of crystal. But then the shadows fell. Earth's fleet arrived. Thousands of black warships surrounded the planet. Cloaked destroyers emerged behind enemy lines. Railguns armed, missiles locked, cannons ready. The silent legions had come to deliver Earth's vengeance. The battle began. Alien fleets fired with everything they had: plasma, lasers, torpedoes. But human ships cut through their lines with precision and fury. Shields shattered. Cruisers exploded. The sky above the capital burned with wreckage. From the council chamber, delegates watched in terror as their defenses collapsed. The High Speaker fell to his knees, his voice shaking. We cannot stop them." The ground itself trembled as Earth's warships descended through the atmosphere, black shadows blotting out the sun. Cities shook, sirens wailed, and then the human soldiers came. Thousands of dropships fell from the sky. The silent legions marched through the streets, their armor dark, their weapons glowing with deadly energy. They moved with cold precision, unstoppable and merciless. In the council chamber, the great doors burst open. Human soldiers stormed inside, weapons raised. Alien delegates cowered in their seats, too afraid to move. Then Admiral Cade himself entered, his black uniform sharp, his eyes burning with cold fire. He walked to the center of the chamber, standing where the High Speaker had once mocked humanity. The speaker's voice broke as he tried to plead. We did not mean—" "We can make peace," Cade's voice cut him off, cold as ice. "Peace? You laughed at us. You enslaved us. You called us weak. And now you want peace?" The chamber was silent. No one dared breathe. Cade's gaze swept across the room. "We will not bow to you. We will not forgive you. From this day forward, humanity stands above you. The galaxy will no longer remember us as weak. The galaxy will remember us as the empire you feared too late." The soldiers raised their weapons. The delegates trembled, realizing their power was gone. The High Speaker collapsed, whispering, "The age of the Council is over," and he was right. The galaxy changed that day. The Galactic Council, rulers of 1,000 worlds, had fallen to one planet, Earth. The silent legions spread across the stars, dismantling chains, tearing down empires, and leaving fear in their wake. Species who had once mocked humans now whispered prayers for mercy. But humanity did not show mercy easily. Earth demanded freedom for all enslaved races. They demanded justice for every cruelty, and those who refused paid the price. Some called them saviors, others called them monsters. But all agreed on one truth: Earth had risen. On the bridge of the Iron Resolve, Admiral Cade stood alone, staring out at the galaxy, now trembling before him. His officers waited for his command. "Admiral," one asked, "what do we tell the galaxy now?" Cade's eyes were cold, his voice steady. "Tell them," he said, "that this is humanity's vengeance. Tell them the galaxy is ours to shape now. And tell them, never forget what happens when you provoke Earth." The stars outside burned with the wreckage of the Council's capital. The galaxy was silent. Humanity had spoken, and in that silence, the legend of Earth's ruthless vengeance was born.